Hello everybody, this is Houncer64 and welcome to another video. This video is more for me than it is for you guys. What I want to do today is a studio tour 2020. I kind of want to do something like this at every start of the year just to kind of watch a natural progression. But I want to see like basically where I am this year and then where I'm gonna be the next year, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah. This is gonna be a long video, so let's just jump into the topics. So the first section I want to talk about is hardware. Basically, like computers, mics, speakers, blah blah blah. I have a Glyph 1 terabyte studio hard drive. I've had that thing since college, so it's been a while. I also have a Monster Pro 2500. It's a power conditioner. Basically, it conditions power. And I also have a Yamaha Steinberg UR44. It's just my interface. I believe it's 6 ins, 2 outs. Next is my keyboard, which is a TT Sport Poseidon. It's a mechanical keyboard, so it makes little click sounds when I touch it. Ooh, that's nice, boy. It also changes colors, and that's really cool. I like things that change colors. Next, I have a Razer Mamba, not the tournament edition, because I didn't want a mouse that's plugged in all the time. PreSonus Monitor Station V2. Now, when I was looking for a good monitor switching solution, I was looking at the V1, but then I realized the V2 was out, and it was probably like $50 more. For those of you who don't know what a monitor station is, or a mix switch or whatever they call them nowadays, basically it's like a central hub where all your sound gets routed. So basically the sound from my interface, so alright, here's how it works. My interface goes to the computer, right, and my computer exports sound from Pro Tools and then goes into this monitor station, and the monitor station actually has 3 different splits on it, and then it also has 4 headphone mixes on it. And then what I can do is I can choose which set of speakers I want to send it to. It's very useful. Speaking of speakers, we're gonna move on to the speakers now. I have a pair of Adam A7Xs, and I also have a pair of Yamaha HS5s. My Adam A7Xs are my main mix references, and then my HS5s I use a lot for I guess for down sampling mixes, because it's good to have a bunch of different references, but I use my HS5s essentially so that way I can hear what it would sound like either on a phone or what it would sound like through a computer speaker, because the HS5s don't have a lot of low end in them. They can, but I just choose not to have them that way. And then my third speaker, I guess, set is down here. Actually, it's a Yamaha, I think it's an I think it's an S10. I'm pretty sure it's an S10. It's a Yamaha S10, it's a subwoofer, and I can actually switch that on and off. It's on its own separate aux, which means I can pair it with either set of monitors if I wanted to. Let's move on to more computer stuff. The good stuff. My main monitor is an Asus PA248 24-inch monitor. My second monitor is actually an old TV I used to have. It's a LG TV. It's actually right behind the camera. That's why, like, sometimes I do videos and I look like behind the camera. That's what I'm looking at. My MIDI controller is actually, I believe it's a Control S61. I want to say, I'm pretty sure it's an S61. It's by Native Instruments. It's pretty nice. I like it. The Art Pro MPA2. The MPA2 is basically a tube microphone preamp. My mic goes into it, it boosts my mic signal, and then I send that to my interface. Easy peasy. Perfect. The next thing is my Axe Effects that I have. It's nice, but it's the Axe Effects 1. It's just an Axe Effects Ultra. I don't have like a 2 or a 3. I'm not that metal. It's nice. It works for what I need it to do, and you can do a lot of stuff with it. I mean, they're extremely powerful units. So I have these monitor stands that my A7Xs used to sit on, and then I just decided to move them closer because I used to have 2 monitors up here, and then I moved the whole setup's all different now. They sit on top of Auralex acoustics. They're basically sound dampening, kind of like the foam that you see that has like the triangles on it. It's basically made of the same stuff. My HS5s sit on top of ISO acoustics, which are they're kind of like, they're just like stands, except they're kind of ergonomically made so they cancel out a lot of low end. The reason why you want them to sit on top of stuff like this is so that way a lot of your low sub frequencies that you wouldn't want to hear, and it also protects your speakers from like when your speaker has a low rumble, it vibrates. And if it's sitting on like a hard surface, it could be like when your phone vibrates. It's sick stuff. I use a Canon Rebel T6i, and I also have headphones. I don't know if any of you guys are into headphones. Whenever I do check reference with headphones, these are what I use. They're Sennheiser HD6 mix headphones. Yeah. These are what I use. They're very nice. Moving on. So I don't have very many microphones, but I kind of work with what I do have. So you guys all know from the last video where we talked about microphones, like patterns and all that stuff. So this would be really fairly simple concept. The first microphone is the one I'm using right now currently. It's a Shure SM7B. We talked about that last video, need to get into it. I also have an SM57, a Shure SM55, which I'm sure a lot of people know it as the Elvis mic or the 50s mic. It's really nice. I have the limited edition blackout edition. I also have an AKG P170. It is a great microphone. I would suggest it to anybody. I need to buy a second one. I also have a Sennheiser E609, which is awesome for recording guitars.
My guitar cab's over there.
I also have a Sterling ST55. I use it for like acoustics. Sometimes I use it for double tracking vocals. They're nice. They have a nice, like, it has a nice big warm
Body sound.
Moving forward. So now we're gonna talk about pedals. So I don't have very many pedals or things like that because I don't really play a lot of shows right now. But I do have this here, bad boy, the TC Electronic Flashback. This is basically a delay / looper pedal. So when I do something, it goes like doot 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 doot. You stop it. The next pedal that I have is the Maxon OD808. This pedal is a monster. I love this thing. They're very, very nice for making your distortion tone just, I don't know, just cut. The presence is better. The next thing I have is the Maxon CP101. The CP101 is just a compressor. That's it. That's all it does. I use it for solos. Alright, so this pedal is my favorite pedal. It is a lot of pedals in one. It's the Boss ME70. It's nice. I use this when I play shows live. ME70 is cool because it has two different modes basically. It has a manual mode where I can control everything and it's one patch, or it has a memory mode where each one of these is a separate patch. It's kind of like an Axe Effects, but I can just press it and it switches automatically. It's really handy because it kind of has everything that I need in it, and then my amp kind of does the rest of the load. The next thing I have is the TC Electronic Century. Now, I know a lot of people are very familiar with the Boss NS2s, and while I think the NS2 is a great pedal, the Century, I don't know, the Century just kind of works a lot better for what I need it for, so this is the Century. It's TC Electronic, it's just a gate, but it's super nice. I don't know, I don't know, it's just something about it, like it clutches better. I don't know, it's my favorite one so far. I also have the Radial Pro 48 Active Direct Box. This is very helpful in studio situations. I suggest that all people who have any sort of studio get a direct box. They are essential, especially if you're doing metal production, because sometimes the tone you record with is not the tone that you want to have. Very useful for reamping. Very useful. And plus, it's always good to have a backup of your performance because it essentially creates like a save state of your performance, because if you don't know what a DI is what your guitar generally just puts out. It's direct input. Now, a lot of people know that you put a guitar into an amp and then the amp does processing and then it comes out all nice and metal. But a DI basically gets your signal before it hits all that processing and then saves your performance, and then you can, from there, you can take your performance DI and you can actually put it into a new amp, you can put it through a new processor, you can use it as a clean tone if you want. I don't suggest it, but you can. And they're just very useful, very useful. Next section. Now, this section is a little difficult because one of my cabs is in my storage units, and I'm not gonna go get that thing because it's heavy. Basically, I want to talk about amps. The first and the main baby that I have is my Marshall JVM 410H. JVM 410H is an absolute unit. It is my dream unit. I love this thing to death. I recently had to get it serviced and it hurt my pocket, but it was worth it because it sounds so good. The JVM is a 4-channel amplifier. It's 100 watts, I'm pretty sure it's 100 watt, yeah. 100 watt 4-channel amplifier. It has a clean section, a crunch section, an OD1 section, and an OD2 section. They are all basically modeled after very famous Marshall amplifiers. They're all modeled after a very famous Marshall amplifiers. I believe OD1 is supposed to be a JCM 900 scooped sound, and I primarily use it for rhythms. And the OD2, I think, is a JCM 800. I may be wrong about that. But I use it because I use it more for solos because it has a very round sound. It's very even, so everything's represented well. That goes into my Marshall 1960 lead cabinet. It is a 4x12 cabinet, and I believe it has T75s in it. I may be wrong about that. They may have G12s. Next is the Laney 120 Ironheart. This thing is also an absolute unit. I love this amp because it's very useful for rhythm guitars. It's also very versatile, just like the JVM. The only thing is the Laney Ironheart is a 3-channel unit, so it is a clean, it is a rhythm, and it is a lead channel. However, it does have built-in reverb. Oh yeah, the Marshall JVM has built-in reverb, by the way. And it also has a pre-boost, which goes in front of it, which kind of acts like my OD808 overdrive, but it's built into the amp. And then normally, when I do have that, I plug it into my Mesa Boogie 4x12, and I believe those have vintage 30s in them. Next section. We are here to talk about guitars. This is what everyone came here for. This was the quintessential moment everyone came to the video for. The first guitar I want to talk about is the Schecter SLS Blackjack. It is basically an all-black guitar. It's made by Schecter. This thing is an absolute unit and a beauty. I love this guitar. I think it changed its name. It's now like the C1 FRS Platinum or something like that, but this one's one of a kind and it's mine and I love it. I basically got this guitar from Guitar Center because I actually wanted, I think it was like a C1 like Hellraiser or something, but I wanted it because I really liked the Sustainiac, and so the dude at Guitar Center actually had just sold it before I came in, even though I had it on hold. And he basically said that we could just order one through Schecter, so he told me, yeah, come up with your specs and then we'll send it off and they'll make it for you. And I was like, sweet. So thanks Schecter for the custom guitar. The body is mahogany with a flamed maple top. It's very nice. It's very warm. This guitar actually sounds really good on leads. Another thing is the fretboard is made of ebony, because ebony just somehow it's just so smooth. 24 fret jumbo, 25.5 scale length. That's going to be very common with me. Floyd Rose locking tuner. I believe it's a Floyd Rose 2000. It allows me to do stuff like. It has Grover tuners in the back here. Grover tuners. Ooh. Oh. Never mind, it's fine. Sustainiac retrofit SLS humbucker in the B front, which allows me to do this stuff. Battery's dead. The bridge pickup is a Seymour Duncan Nazgul, which I switched out actually. I think it came with a sentient or something. I don't remember, but I switched it out because I didn't like the way it sounded. This is, right here, the LTD B205SM. I have no idea what that means, but I got it off the website. And I think it says it right here. B205SM. It says it on the 12th fret. It's pretty cool. It has a swamp ash body with a splatted maple top. Very cool. The neck is actually a 5-piece neck. So it is mostly maple, as you can see, with 2 strips of what is known as Jatoba wood. Jatoba?
Jatoba.
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 It is a bolt-on neck construction, and it has a battery cavity as well for the pickups and for the preamp as well. I forgot to mention the Schecter also has a battery cavity, and it has a little door that comes up. It's really cool. On top of that, roasted Jatoba fingerboard with a 24 extra jumbo fret because we like our boys. Yeah. And then bridge is an LTD BB605 fixed bridge. No tremolo here. It has a 3-band preamp, low, mid, and high, and then a volume and a tone knob, as well as the 2 pickups. They're both the ones that it came with. I was debating on switching them out, but I don't know anything about bass pickups. But if you have suggestions, let me know. This is an ESP Design SB5N. Yeah, 5N for neck, and then this is an ESP Design SB5B for bridge. So they literally just changed the letter, that was it. Moving on to the fanciest of boys, I have the Jackson Warrior WRX24. This baby is so, it's so important to me. I love this guitar. I honestly think if it weren't for this guitar, I probably would not have been as into guitar as I am now. The Jackson Warrior WRXT, little known fact, was actually one of the first guitars I ever wanted to have. I really wanted this guitar when I was younger. So Ollie Herbert, rest in peace, used to play the Ibanez 700 XPT, and at the time I didn't know the difference because I just saw the familiar body shape. So I was like, Mother, I really want to have one of these. And my mom's like,
why do you listen to metal? You're a disgrace.
My mom loves me very much. It is a mahogany body, which you can't tell because of the silver paint job. God, I love this guitar. The neck is actually a 1-piece maple neck, so it's all solid maple. Of course, bolt-on, because this was before I knew about neck-through profiles. The fingerboard is made out of laurel, I think laurel spruce, I'm pretty sure. It's a 24 jumbo fret guitar as well with the 25.5 scale inch neck. I don't know what you were expecting. I do have the locking pegs up here. Very nice. This was the first time I learned about these, and I got addicted ever since. It also has the Floyd Rose double locking 2-point suspension bridge, which is here. And this is probably what got me into my habit of always needing a tremolo on every guitar that I have. And then the pickups on it are the classic EMG 8185. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And the funny thing about this is I actually bought it stock and customized it out. This is my guitar I used to tour with a lot. I might tour with it again. And back here, we actually had to hollow out the cavity that was here and make space for a battery for the EMG 8185s. Just like I was saying before about the Ibanez 700 XPT, I have one. Of course I have one. I had to get one as soon as I found out Ollie played one. The Ibanez 700 XPT was a limited run part of the X series, if anyone remembers that. I think they did that series maybe about 3 or 4 years, and then they just stopped doing it. I don't know why. The X series is freaking killer. Look at this. Killer. Anyways, mahogany body, it is a 5-ply maple and walnut neck. Who the heck? But it is a maple and walnut 5-ply neck. You can't tell because it is also a neck-through design. I love neck-through. Because of the sick paint job on it. It's actually chameleon paint. Alright, so I wanted to take you guys out on a field trip. Yeah, see, so it's green, it's all green, and then if we go to the shade, then it starts turning blue. Cool stuff. So I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but basically depending on the angle you catch it at, it can either be green, or it can be blue. I think you can kind of see it. And then like the middle gradient between them is like purple. It's so cool actually, like if you take it out in the sun. It's a Wizard 3 neck, so it's a very smooth low radius neck, which I like. I prefer low radius. It is also bound rosewood, which, little known fact, I believe rosewood is the best fingerboard material. Don't at me. 24 jumbo fret, 25.5 scale length neck, as you guys all know. Reverse headstock, Edge 3 tremolo, DiMarzio deactivator, pickups in it. Great stuff. Moving on, a more streamlined guitar that I use pretty much day to day. This is the Ibanez 670 QM. The QM stands for Quilted Maple. Of course, this one is also customized. I changed a lot of stuff in it. So let's talk about it. The body is Meranti. Three-piece maple neck. It is bolt-on construction. The top, of course, is quilted maple, as it's named, the QM. Wizard 3 profile neck, that's going to be very common with me. The fingerboard is Jatoba.
What are half of these woods?
With a 25.5 scale length. The Edge 02 tremolo. These are actually, I switched out the pickups, and these are the Steve Vai Evolution pickup set by DiMarzio. I think it had like the stock ones. I switched them out because I don't know what it is about the Steve Vai Evolutions, but they make your guitar sound which is quite surprising because look at this guitar. Look how skinny that is. Look at that. This thing probably weighs like 7 pounds. It's so light. I love it. But it's honestly like the heaviest guitar I have in my collection. Pretty much any song that I play drop tuning in, this is my go-to rhythm guitar just because it's so freaking heavy. Ibanez 7521 QM, another quilted maple model. The only difference is that this essentially is the 7-string equivalent of its little brother over there, which I just went over. The cool thing about this is the specs are pretty much the same, actually. It's a mahogany body with a quilted maple top, as you guys know from the last guitar. It doesn't have the blue paint job on it. It has a gray paint job, which is kind of hard to tell. I'm probably going to get some better footage of these in like better light, but it's gray instead of that bluish tint. The neck is a 3-piece maple Wizard 2 neck, so this is before the Wizard 3. The fingerboard is, again, rosewood. The scale length is a 25.5 with a fixed bridge, so no trim here, boys. And they come with Ibanez Quantum 7s, but I know I switched them out. Oh, by the way, it's a bolt-on neck. I think I switched them out for DiMarzio. I think it's the Sentient and Pegasus 7-string variants. This guitar is probably a guitar that a lot of you guys haven't really seen much on my channel, but this is probably one of my absolute favorite guitar. I love this guitar. Look at that artwork. It's so nice. This guitar is through and through custom. Everything on this thing has been switched out. The only thing that is original is the actual like body itself it was made from. Everything else switched out, gone. It is an Oscar Schmidt Washburn guitar. I actually cannot find any information about this on the internet because they don't make them anymore. Pretty sure the body is mahogany. I believe it is a flame maple top last I checked. It has really nice binding on the edges, as you can see. It's a lot like a Les Paul shape, so if you know about like LTD, it's like the Eclipse series. I believe these are actually I think they're Gibson pickups from last I remembered. Pickup selector switched out. 3-way pickup selector, by the way. I don't know if people actually care about that. And then I also have 2 volume knobs here and then 2 tone knobs. They control each individual pickup, so a lot of control there. Fixed bridge. That's a horror movie. I believe the neck, I want to say, is rosewood as well, probably because I'm on a huge rosewood kick. It used to have a pick guard. I completely removed it, and my friend actually did the paint job on it. So the paint job's really cool on the body, and then there's also paint job on the neck. I mean, not the neck, on the headstock. And then her initials are on the back here. And I love this guitar. This guitar is freaking sick. This guitar is my go-to guitar for anything that is clean tone. The cleans on this are just miraculous. I don't know what to say. So the last, but certainly not the least, one of my absolute favorite guitars right now, the Ibanez S6 UC, or otherwise known as the S6 Uppercut. I love this guitar with a absolute burning passion. This guitar is so good, so nice, looks sexy, super skinny, but still has that weight to it because of what's inside. But let's talk about her in depth. Of course, this guitar is a custom ordered guitar. I got this custom ordered through Ibanez. I'm sure Ibanez does not recognize me. It is a mahogany body. I'm pretty sure it's African mahogany, like the JP series. It's an Imbua top. So the top is actually a layer of Imbua. It is a 5-piece maple and walnut neck. However, the walnut is very thin on it, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but it is also a bolt-on construction. But with this guitar, I don't even care. It is a low pro edge tremolo system, and of course all gold hardware, you know how it is. It is 24 jumbo frets. The fingerboard is actually an ebony fingerboard with binding on the edges, but it's color matched, so you can't really see the binding, but it's there. On top of that, it's another 25.5 scale inch neck. I think it's Gateau tuners on it. It should be Gateau tuners. Gold hardware as well. Locking at the top there, beautiful. And on top of all this, are fitted with bare knuckle aftermath pickups. I believe they came with nail bombs, but I didn't like them because I'm a very big chord playing guy, so I need a lot of definition. There's a 5-way pickup selector, and the reason I like this so much is, so normally you have all the way down to your bridge for distortion, and then all the way up to your neck for cleans, and I can do that. But if I actually set it to second position from neck pickup, it actually gives off a very piezo type of characteristic, like the John Petrucci's. It's such a night and day difference. But this guitar is slamming. So the next electric guitar I have is actually my very first electric guitar. I talked about it in the cheap guitar versus cheap amp video, so if you want to know about it, just go ahead and check out that video. Here's a link. I think, I don't know, it depends on if Editing Devin wants me to look stupid or not. Bam bam! This guitar is a Lucero? Lucero? Yes? Yes, a Lucero LC100CEN. This guitar is a classical guitar, as you can tell. I actually know literally nothing about this guitar. I think we got it for like $400 at the nearest guitar center. But it served its purpose! Dude, you can't demonetize me if my channel's never monetized in the first place. Oh my god! Moving on. Next guitar. This guitar is another acoustic because we're in the acoustic section. Did I mention that? No. This guitar is a Taylor 214 CE Deluxe. I think. It is a Taylor 214 CE K Deluxe Koa Deluxe Grand Auditorium Acoustic Electric Guitar.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
This guitar is absolutely fantastic. It sounds great. Listen to that baby purr. Jimmy eat corn and I don't care. Jimmy eat corn and I don't care.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
So the body is actually made of Hawaiian koa wood. Now, for those of you who don't know me, which is everybody, koa wood is actually my favorite tone wood of all time. I think that Hawaiian koa is the best sounding tone wood because it not only has a bright snap to it, it also has a great low end. I believe it has a Sitka spruce top. So the Sitka spruce, this is more of the, I believe it's maple for this one. This neck is made of what is known as neotropical mahogany. I have no idea what that means, but it's great. As you can see, it has more of the beveling along the sides. Super sick, more of the koa flavor right here. As you can see, the neck as well. The fingerboard is actually West African mahogany, so it is the kind of like the African that my Ibanez S6 UC is made of. It's the same thing, but on the fretboard here. 25.5 scale inch neck, and the bridge is made of pure ebony. So this guitar is just made of the finest tone woods you can put together. It sounds absolutely monstrous. It fills an entire room just by playing a chord. This guitar is definitely top 10. This is probably the acoustic guitar to end all acoustic guitars, in my opinion. I do not need any other acoustic because this guitar does it all. It's amazing. It sounds great, looks great, oh, plays great. Love it! This is the absolute final section. I just realized that going through all of my notes here, I didn't talk about my PC specs, and I know there's a lot of you nerds out there.
Ready your pants, baby. Because we're about to talk about PC specs. Oh, yeah.
My PC is, as you all know, an HP
Envy Phoenix.
sexy, sleek, masterful. But yeah, let's talk about the stuff that it's made out of. My HP Envy, it's really cool. I love it. It's a great computer, and I've changed a lot of stuff out on it because I don't know, because I like to change things. It's made of an Intel Core i7 6700K 4 gigahertz processor. Quad, by the way. Yeah, quad core processor, i7. It's really nice. I was debating on upgrading to the i9s now that they're out, but the i7 does everything I need to. Not to brag, but my computer can run Left 4 Dead 1 on ultra graphics while I watch porn on the other monitor. 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, 2 terabyte SATA hard drive, HDD of course, and my other hard drive, my main hard drive, is a 500 gigabyte SSD solid state. I switched out the graphics card in it. So originally it had an NVIDIA GTX 960 or 810, I can't remember, but I switched it out. It has an NVIDIA GTX 980 now, and it does have the ability to overclock if I ever needed to, but I don't ever want to water cool my PC. That has been the Studio Tour, Studio Tour 2020. Yeah. I need to go and now edit all this, and it's probably going to be late because this video took over an hour just to record, and now I have to edit it all in like 20 minutes. But yeah, you guys know the deal. If you enjoyed the video, like it, comment what you want to see next. I know this video was more for me and not really for you guys, just because I want a comparison for where I was to where I'm going to be in a year. I'll leave you with this word of wisdom, folks. Keep swimming, because if a shark stops swimming, it drowns.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Look at them colors, boy. Look at them colors. Look at that baby change color. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.